Interesting details about the meeting that changed the life of billionaire Bill Gates. We were immediately drawn into chatting for hours. He has a humble way of talking about what he is doing. What impressed me most was the clarity with which he thought about this world. Remembering his friend Warren Buffett, Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates said that meeting the billionaire investor 25 years ago changed his life, for the better in every way imaginable. Writing on the Gates Notes blog, the world's richest man recalled his initial reaction of reluctance when he had to leave his job at Microsoft in July 1991 to meet with the CEO of Berkshire Hathaway. But at the meeting, Buffett immediately impressed Bill Gates with questions about the software and computer business. We were immediately drawn into chatting for hours. He doesn't look like a big investor. He has a humble way of talking about what he is doing. He was very cheerful, but what impressed me most was the clarity with which he thought about this world. We have had a deep friendship since that first conversation, Bill Gates wrote. Gates also revealed that he only saved 2 speed dial numbers in his office phone, which were his home number and Buffett's number. I constantly learned many things from him. Warren and I like to talk about companies, politics, world events, and new initiatives. It's really interesting that someone is learning about these things from a different background, Gates said, adding that to him, Buffett is like a father. The richest man in the world also revealed that Buffett's favorite foods are hamburgers, ice cream, and Coca-Cola. He also shared an interesting story about how the Omaha billionaire once set a bad example for Gates' children by eating a package of Oreo cookies for breakfast. Gates also shared that every time he comes to Omaha, Buffett drives to the airport to pick him up. It's a small gesture, but it means a lot to me. He said that the most important thing he learned from Buffett was the definition of friendship. Everyone is lucky enough to have a friend as thoughtful and kind as Warren. He does things outside of his routine to make people feel good about themselves and share his joys about life, Gates wrote. Both Gates and Buffett are 2 of the richest people in the world. According to the Bloomberg Billionaires Index, Gates is ranked number 1 with a net worth of $83.5 billion United States dollars, while Buffett is the 3rd richest in the world with a net worth of $66 billion United States dollars. Buffett is also a major donor of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, a charitable foundation focused on improving healthcare, education, and poverty reduction. Last year, Buffett donated about $2.84 million in Berkshire Hathaway shares to this fund. Little-known things about the 27-year friendship of Warren Buffett and Bill Gates. Bill Gates and Warren Buffett are currently the 2nd and 3rd richest people in the world. They are also close friends. However, when they first met 27 years ago, they seemed quite reluctant. Each person was surprised at how much the other enjoyed their conversation. Since then, they have had similar views on political and philanthropic issues, and often advise each other. Here are the highlights of their relationship. Bill Gates, 62 years old, is the 2nd richest person in the world. He is the former CEO of Microsoft Corporation and co-founder of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Warren Buffett, 87 years old, is the 3rd richest person in the world. He is a legendary investor and currently holds the position of CEO of Berkshire Hathaway Corporation. Bill Gates and Warren Buffett's friendship began on July 5, 1991. That day, Bill Gates' mother, Mary, invited Meg Greenfield, an editor at The Washington Post, to her house. At that time, Ms. Greenfield brought her friend Warren Buffett along. Gates' mother forced her son to participate in the conversation, while Mr. Gates did not want to take off work that day. What would he and I talk about? The P/E ratio. Mr. Gates later wrote in his memoir. The only reason he decided to join the conversation was because Ms. Greenfield also brought along Katharine Graham, a publisher of The Washington Post, who at that time was interested in the history of this newspaper. On the other hand, Mr. Buffett also does not want to meet Bill Gates very much. While we were driving there, I said, "What are we going to do all day with these people? How long do we have to stay there to be polite?" Mr. Buffett recalled. Turns out, they get along very well. Gates recalls being impressed with the questions Buffett asked him, such as if you built IBM from scratch, how would it be different? And Mr. Gates told Buffett to buy shares of Intel and Microsoft. That was the beginning of a deep friendship between them. Right after that first meeting, Mr. Gates asked Mr. Buffett to introduce him to his favorite business book. So Mr. Buffett lent Bill Gates the book, Business Adventures, by author John Brooks. Now, it is also Mr. Gates's favorite business book. Both credit their great success to their ability to focus on their work. Mr. Gates wrote that he learned how to manage his time from Warren Buffett by prioritizing certain people and tasks. They still participate in charity groups. In 2010, Mr. Gates and Buffett, along with Gates' wife, Melinda, established the Commitment to Giving Fund. Billionaires participating in this campaign have signed a commitment to give away more than half of their assets. Indeed, Mr. Buffett contributes a portion of his fortune to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation every year. In 2017, he donated $2.42 billion in Berkshire Hathaway shares. In 2014, Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, along with Sheldon Adelson, wrote an article in the New York Times urging immigration reform. This couple also has some strange pastimes. They participated in the newspaper challenge at Berkshire Hathaway's annual meeting. And they also like trying out mattresses. Mr. Gates said that Buffett's phone number is one of his 2 speed dial numbers at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Their friendship had a great impact on both of them. Mr. Gates wrote that, "Warren Buffett has helped my husband and I in 2 things, learning more and laughing more.